What do you say, guys? It's time for your favorite podcast and mine. Maybe not, but I hope so. Great to talk to you guys today on Roll Tide Pods. This is Elephant in the Room, part of Disrupt the Media with Jake Coker and a special guest, Ryan Anderson. I mean, this is going to be fun. We got a lot of elephants in the room today, Jay.
Oh, yeah. Man, I tell you, Ryan, I've had a lot of good teammates in my day, and Ryan, to me, one of the most loyal and genuine guys I've ever been around, and love him to death. Man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you.
Man, I appreciate you calling me. You know, I probably ain't that way to a lot of my teammates. I just like Jake.
Some other guys didn't get that treatment.
You might not hear that from everybody else. So.
I called him this morning, and he's like, man, what you doing? I just got my hair cut. I was like, man, you let that guy jack you up again? And I said, man, I told him about the podcast and all that, and he's like, mother effer, tell me what time to be there.
Yeah, that's my dude.
It means the world to me, man. I appreciate it.
So, I appreciate y'all for having me on.
Love this guy to death. He's about as good as they come.
Well, you guys had some good times together, huh?
We did.
Too much fun.
We did. I kind of wish we would have had him longer. You know, he made some bad decisions early on.
That's
yeah. He got his life together, man. He made good for himself.
Yeah. What was it like when he got there?
I'm gonna tell you right now, Jake Coker, every morning he should get up and thank God for his wife, his beautiful family, his kids, and then me and Dylan Lee.
The only guy we're missing is Dylan Lee. That's the guy
after that, man, I don't know what he got. That should be perfect. When he came over, like a lot of the guys, you know, we was excited, but you know, you naturally like, you kind of stand off as you know, you want to see how he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember like first 7-on-7 action, Dylan ended up picking him off. Welcome to.
And it was. I do remember this, and I throw a slant to Chris Black. He breaks it up, and Dylan Lee gives me the Matumbo finger. He goes, "This ain't ACC no more. This ain't ACC no more."
I've heard practice gets pretty intense between the offense and the defense in Alabama.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got psychos like Ryan Anderson on defense, just wearing people out, and it was I don't know how it is now. I know, again, we've kind of talked about this in previous podcasts. I mean, Coach Saban, when we were there, loved him to death. I mean, he was a huge asshole at Alabama when we were there, and It was great. I love him.
Yeah.
Love him as much or more than any coach I've ever had. He's the best of all time. And at the same time, didn't matter when we were practicing, whether it was, you know, during camp or during bowl season. I mean, man, helmets were coming off, people were fighting, and at the end of the day, everybody loved each other and got along. But man, it was a different kind of intensity when we were there.
It was animals. A lot of animals. that camp, it was intense.
Ryan, when you watch Nick Saban now, the kinder, gentler Nick Saban, do you worry about where Alabama's going with that, or do you think that it's because the guys have changed a little bit?
Yeah, I feel like Coach just adjusted right now.
Yeah,
you know, like it's a different time, it's a different period. Like you got the porter now, you know, so a kid can just leave and go to another SEC school. Like we couldn't do that then.
Yeah.
You know, so he gotta switch his style up. But all in all, I think they'll be all right.
I also think, you know, I mean, man, and again, I don't know the guys there now, but everybody when we were playing, there was a certain pride to play for Alabama. There was it meant a lot to play for that crimson helmet with the number on the side. I mean, it was just you never felt like anybody was leaving whenever Coach Saban got on somebody's ass or when somebody got out of line. I felt like the players were policing each other and sometimes beating the shit out of each other. And that was part of the program.
Yeah. Well, that's part of success, though. I mean, not that just that the guys have to say to themselves, and in any sport, not just in football, but we have a standard and we have to play to that standard. We have to work to that standard. I mean, it's any business. You guys are in regular business now.
Yeah.
That's anything that you do. But it's a team thing, right? I mean, if you have a high standard and everyone meets that high standard, then things are going to stay the same. But when people start to say, you know what? I don't want to do the extra work. I don't want to do the weightlifting. I don't want to do the running. I don't want to do the film study. It's going to show up because, I mean, you guys probably can't see it from this camera vantage point, but all of these Daniel Moores are national championships. You guys are on some of them. It's crazy to think about what Nick Saban's done.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when somebody gets out of line, might be, you know, Tony Brown and Ryan beats the shit out of them. Hey, Coach Saban doesn't have to get involved. You know, you're probably in a good state.
Yeah.
And I joke around, man. Tony was one of the best competitors on our team.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you know,
you that little brother you never want. Love him to death.
Yeah.
Tony's one of the most beloved guys on the team. You know, just wanted it more than anybody. Sometimes get a little too emotional, and everybody be like, "Hey, man, you got to calm down." So I'm kidding around, but you know, everybody kind of kept each other in check.
Accountability. That's what it was about. Like I feel like that's what separated the teams that we had that was like good and that won, and the ones that was like probably talent wise was that still that didn't win. So like that was the teams that we had there. Like everybody just held each other accountable. Like it's just the way we do it.
Yeah. And look, when you watch football right now and you guys see what's going on at Alabama as they try to find the process again with NIL, with transfer portal and all of that stuff. How do you think that translates?
I mean, no, when I think of transfer portal right now, I mean, again, you can't coach people the same. You can't recruit people the same. There's so much leniency in how you can just up and leave if you're not satisfied. I think you almost have to recruit guys, you know, have a lot of pride in the program and love Alabama, you know, and again, you can't just MF a guy, you know, up and down like he used to. I mean, they can get out of here and get bent out of shape. I mean, one of the best things when I was coming through, you know, you had to graduate, you had to go there, graduate, and then you could transfer and be eligible next year. To me, I think that's the best way to do it. Kids don't know what the hell they're doing when they're picking a school. I mean, the money sounds great and all that, but a lot of times they're not willing to stick out the rough times and the adversity and you know, kind of feel out how, you know, when a coach gets on your ass, figure out how to get over it and play and understand what their true message is. It's just too easy to leave now, and kids just don't learn the lessons of failure early on.
I agree, Jake.
Well, let's talk about Ole Miss. You guys both knew Lane Kiffin, Alabama. We talked about it on the last one, but we haven't gotten Ryan's opinion. Ryan,
we're putting Ryan on the spot.
What'd you think about the game?
Wow.
What'd you think about it? Alabama 24 and Ole Miss 10.
The second how the game went, that's what I was looking for. Like in the second half, I was waiting on like that one moment, you know, that I could feel like we turned the corner, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like we got that out of the game, like as far as the offense and like something we can build on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was pleased, you know.
But it finally looked like we gave a shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, finally looked like we cared a little bit about the Alabama culture and the Alabama standard that had been set before. And, you know, again, I was there for 2 years, but pretty quickly on, I understood, you know, from the players that had been there and their involvement in the program, what was expected of us and what we needed to do to be successful. And shit, I mean, half the effort put in by everybody on the team was because of the standard that all the former players expected of us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, to embarrass the guys that came before you, that's pretty heavy.
Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
Who are the guys that you watch on this defense that you go, the Malachi Moores, the Deontay Lawsons? Who are the guys that you really like on this defense?
number 41 Braswell. I don't know the kid first name, but right now he's my favorite. He's one of my favorite players on that defense right now because he physical. Like I feel like he's one of those players that's gonna keep coming along, and he's gonna be very good for us. Like he got. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but it's something about him.
Yeah,
I like watching him play.
There's something about Ryan. I felt like his favorite player on the team would be the most reckless, just, crazy defensive player.
And I think that's him. He'll hit you. I'm telling you, he'll hit you.
I mean, because when you watch Ryan play defense, I mean, this MFer leads with his head. I mean, it's like his face is in every play, and he plays with reckless abandonment and doesn't care what happens to his body. And I just when I watch Ryan play and I watch Ryan in practice and everything else, it's like this. I can't even describe it on air. I mean, this MFer is insane.
Yeah, right.
He just dominates and puts his face in everything.
Right. You were probably like, hey, I'm glad I don't have to face these guys in a real game.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was one of those. Whenever he made a play, it was a prideful moment because he's an Alabama guy playing for Alabama, and I loved it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, look, I thought that this game, the second half of this game, felt a lot like what we expect from Alabama. It felt like the Alabama standard that you guys really just jumped in and kept going. I mean, this thing started with Nick Saban's 08 team and then 09, and then and kind of went through. I've told him the 2017 championship, I sat with Baron Huber and Mike Johnson, and they were hitting me every time Alabama scored. So I almost died after that.
Yeah.
I tweeted at Mike. I said, we throw him a lot of shout outs on here. He's my former broadcast partners, but I don't ever want to go through that again.
Yeah.
But like, I just feel like this team, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that this team, with where they're at right now, led by defense, this secondary to me is about as good as Alabama's had.
They got a shot.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I feel like this team is one of those teams that I feel like can grit out some wins, figure it out as they go, and they're going to surprise some people. They keep getting better. I really feel like that about them.
Yeah.
Now, I might have to get out of a neighborhood with HOA fucking with them. But I think we're going to be all right. I'm telling you. Man, I said cuss words I probably ain't never heard or said before in my life.
Right.
But
it's frustrating.
Yeah, because but after I said,
the Texas game, you're like, can you get the play into the defense, please? And everybody's doing this. And we all think, look, everybody in the world now thinks Texas is so great.
Right.
Alabama just had this is my opinion. Alabama had problems getting the plays called. Saban got it fixed. If we played them again this week, I think it would be a totally different outcome.
Exactly.
Defense against their offense. Anyway.
I don't like nothing about Texas but Colt McCoy.
Yeah.
I hate that power slip. I broke 2 TVs watching that game. I broke one inside. I went outside and broke that one. Man. It's gonna be all right, though.
No, that's right. I mean, and again, offensively, like to me, Jalen. I mean, that guy, the throws he made in the Ole Miss game, made a few mistakes. And again, when I remember my first few starts, God, the shit I used to do.
Right.
I mean, I look back, I'm like, you dumbass, I mean, and he makes. I mean, his stats look really pretty. Outside of the interceptions, look pretty good.
Hey, he made one bad throw last time.
Well, that's right.
You take the interception away, and that is almost a perfect game. I mean, when you talk about he was still like 18 of 21.
Oh, yeah.
One of them was that interception.
Yeah, I mean, again, when throwing touchdowns, especially in that stadium or anywhere else, it's like, it's like a drug. You just want to keep throwing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best damn feeling in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, you see that corner, shouldn't have thrown it, obviously, but it's the only mistake he made truly the whole game. Now he took a few sacks, but that's seeing things pretty quickly. But I mean, Jalen's got a lot of room to grow. And again, until after that 8-game mark, you're still not going to really know the Jalen Milroe that's been shown in these games prior.
What does it look like from a quarterback standpoint when you're in that situation?
I mean, you're thinking touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Oh, that guy's wide open, but I got a touchdown right
there. You want to get that crowd going.
And then you throw a pick in the end zone.
That's a tough job.
I couldn't imagine.
Oh,
Jesus
man, I
Christ.
tell you,
Yeah.
you know, it's part of the job. And again, he's made a few critical mistakes. And again, the ones that he's made have been costly, but you know, if he can manage those, he's going to be a hell of a quarterback in Alabama, in my opinion. You know, I mean, he can run, he can throw, take shots on those deep balls. I mean,
his deep ball is beautiful.
Oh man, I mean, he makes some deep ball throws that not many people can make. That double post where he threw a touchdown to Hale, that was one of the best balls. Seeing somebody coming and getting the wind knocked out of you, knowing it's coming.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
not many people are going to stand there and throw that ball.
Do you guys think Jalen Hale might be the next Amari Cooper, might be the next Calvin Ridley, might be the next Smitty? I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself here.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's good, though.
You can't just throw that out.
But we've had a lot of guys. Julio, we've had a lot of guys.
I'm going to come back on the show in a few weeks and we're going to talk about that.
He's got to do more stuff.
I like him, though.
But Smitty was a slow starter.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Julio. I was at Julio's first game. Very first play was to Julio. If you remember.
Yeah, he was different.
I still think Julio. No, I'm not saying that this is not a shot at anybody else. Julio's still my number one.
If I feel like he'd have played in the offenses that those other receivers played in, it probably wouldn't be.
Nobody would ever. Yeah. He was like running back, wide receiver, basically catch the ball short and just run over everybody.
I've thrown to Julio one time. That was right after I graduated, and I threw with him right before all the combine stuff. And I mean, it almost screwed me up because I mean, where normal receivers would take, 6 steps, 7 steps to get to an 8 or a bang 8. I mean, that guy was there way before anybody else. Mm-hmm. And again, he even told me, he's like, man, you got to put air on everything so that I can adjust to it and get it. You can't throw it on the line because you're going to miss me. He even knew how quick he was and how fast he was.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, holy shit. This M. Everett's different.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, it was a completely different ball game from that guy. Just because the timing was so much different.
Fast.
I'd never seen anybody like it. We were working out. Me and right after we got done throwing in the indoor, mm-hmm. We're sitting there and we're watching. Me and Richard are sitting there talking. And we're watching Derek and Kenyon and Julio work out. And they're all, I think it was Derek and Kenyon, they were practicing jumping up on the elevated blocks to see how high they could jump. And I'm sitting there watching, both of us are. And they finally, they top out at whatever height it was. I mean, it was like almost eye level with me. And I'm standing there watching, and Julio, he walks up, and he doesn't know I'm watching. He doesn't know me and Richard are watching. And he looks around, nobody's standing there, and he just jumps up, lands on it, no big deal, steps back down, and me and Richard are like, holy shit. Did you just do that?
Yeah, he is.
I mean, it was like, what?
Yeah. Oh, man.
I mean, I'm 6'5". I mean, it was probably 6 feet tall. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Right.
And this guy, again, Julio played in a different era.
Yeah.
He played in the Lane Kiffin era where, you're doing everything you can to get it to this guy. I mean, there's no telling how many receiving yards he'd have put up.
I thought he was amazing. But you know what else is amazing is the fact that my wagering right now has been so bad. So I probably need to talk to Lance and get Lance's lock. But I will tell you guys that our show is brought to you by MyBookie. Make your money work harder. Make your money work smarter, not harder with MyBookie. Celebrate your winning season with MyBookie's biggest welcome offer ever. That's 110% deposit match on your first deposit. You heard it right here. You can make more than double your money before you even place a bet by making a deposit with MyBookie. All you have to do is go to mybookie.ag, use the promo code NEXTROUND to claim this bonus. But make sure you act quick because this offer is only available for this week, and you can only get it with the promo code NEXTROUND. With a full slate of NFL and college football, there's plenty of opportunities to bet and win. So don't be the guy who missed out. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. I did win one last week, by the way. I'm 2-10 now.
I'd like to know which one that was.
I pushed. I
You pushed. You pushed.
On my really, it's a loss. On my show,
You got your money back.
If you push on my Friday show, if you push, we count it as a win. I took Notre Dame over Ohio State, but I got 2.5. Or no, I got 3. We got 3, so we pushed.
So you getting your picks wrong?
Not from Lance's lock. I need to go ahead and put my picks on Lance's lock. I get them from me, and but I'm normally pretty good. This year has been not my year. It's been a tough year. I feel like
I feel like a weird Vegas year.
Yeah, it's like a lot of things have changed in college football lately.
The playing field is just about level now. With all the deporting, it's talent everywhere.
Yeah.
So
that and favorites have been winning like at an unbelievable rate this year. Last week, the amount of favorites that won were just off the charts.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean I want to. I mean, it's probably 65-70% favorites won last week.
Well, one I took.
So if you're a big dog guy,
yeah, look,
they took you to the cleaners.
They did. I bet with my heart with Coach Prime.
Yeah, I took Oregon.
What you mean?
I love him. I used to wear his jersey when I was a kid. I loved Dion, and I believed in him, and I still do. But last week was not their week.
Yeah,
here's the thing, Ryan. If you want a retirement plan, you got to call Mick. Ask him what his picks are. Fade the shit out of him.
Take the other one. I've had streaks where I've been on the other side of this. I've been on the other side of this. But he's right now. I'm even questioning my pick. we did our pick segment on the show today. I just took everything opposite of what I really think.
You did. You want to retire?
Yeah. I'm just like, hey, you think? I was like, there's no way. I said, there's no way South Carolina is going in there and beating. No. I said, there's no way Tennessee's closing an 11.5-point spread. I'll take Tennessee. Yeah. I mean, South Carolina beat them last year. Yeah,
who are your picks this week?
Well, I took Tennessee, gave up 11.5.
To who? South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina, which I really think the other way, but I just going against myself. I took. You're gonna hate me for this. I took Mississippi State in 14.5.
Okay.
But I also took Ole Miss last week, so it's part of that is
you're not taking Ole Miss this week, is that?
And I'm taking LSU big.
Who LSU got?
Ole Miss.
Oh, okay, that's what I wanted.
But I kind of hope
I took Ole Miss. That makes me feel a lot.
Because I think Ole Miss is going to get run out, and then Kiffin's going to be in trouble because everybody's going to be like, you trolled Nick Saban like that, and then you got your ass kicked, and now you're getting beat up again. Yeah. He did you like the trolling? Do you like that stuff?
That's just him. You know what I mean? I know that's him. I know him. So I don't really. I know what he. You know what I mean? I don't think it's that personal. It just lame. So I don't take him serious. I'm glad we beat his ass.
Yeah.
He the one coach I don't want to lose to.
No.
You see his quarterback doing all that laughing when his helmet was popping out earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why when he left that game out, he did battered. I'm talking about. I drunk me 2 beers, bought me 2 new TVs. They left him battered. That's how you do it.
I was hoping we'd beat Ole Miss pretty bad, but when I saw that quarterback do this, I was like, oh, please, for the love of God, beat the shit out of these clowns.
Man, there's a great story, baseball story, but it's kind of the same thing. Greg Maddox told me that when they were playing the Cardinals one year, I guess Dennis Eckersley did that to the Braves dugout. And he was like walking in the tunnel, and David Justice was like, "Oh hell no!" like walking back, like they guess they beat him and he's doing that, all that stuff. And the Braves whooped him after that, that's motivation sometimes, right?
Mhm.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
well, hell, it looked like it worked for us.
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, again, the only time right before we played Georgia, I remember warming up on the opposite side of the field, and I saw them come over and meet Ryan, the defensive line, and like I've said before on this podcast, you come out and you challenge all these freaking savages, you're gonna be like, I mean, it's gonna be a hell of. When they did that, I was like, this thing's over. This thing's over. So I wanted to score a few points.
I don't know what, like Jay said, I don't know what made them do that, but after warm-ups, that was you come in at the warm-ups and everybody like always just like, everybody was like quiet. It was just, I like, this motherfucker's finna go crazy. It was quiet. It was hot. I'm like, okay. So I walked by A-Shun say, I'm gonna kill him.
You hear A-Shawn
say, let's go.
Yeah, you walk in the locker room, A-Shawn's teeth are grinding, you're like, holy shit.
That's so funny.
18-year-old dude, bald head. I first met him. He come in the locker room.
7 kids.
That's who your son is. He ain't like me since then. He's like, I'm 18. I've been in prison before. Just huge.
Oh my God. I had a friend like that where he's like, he looks way older than he's supposed to look. That's to bet people. Like, I bet you a beer you don't know how old this guy is. Can you get within 5 years? So let's talk some Mississippi State. Alabama has had over the years, and maybe you guys didn't, but over the years, Mississippi State to me is more of a rival than Ole Miss. They're physical, they're tough. I have respect for the way that they go about their business. When Dak Prescott was there, they were a really good football team, and they worry me a lot more than the Rebels do. I mean, me personally.
I would say that too, but like,
not me as much.
Not in a sense, because like they beat us twice when we was there. I mean, you lost to them once. Twice. They beat us 2 years in a row. So on my half is
Ole Miss. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Mississippi State. I mean,
which was like their heyday, by the way.
Ole Miss.
No, Ole Miss. Yeah. I mean, like that's.
I mean, they got to me, Will Rogers is one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. They got a brand new coach, brand new system on offense.
Yeah, and
they've looked like they've kind of gelled a little bit, but the timing, the crispness of their offense just doesn't look to be there. I mean, looks like they kind of got it together against South Carolina, but they're still not on the same page. But again, you never know. I mean, that Texas A&M game when I can't remember his name. He played the game of his life, beat Alabama, Oklahoma in
Johnny Football.
Stephen Garcia in 2011.
Yeah, you're talking about Johnny Manziel.
No, not him.
Which guy?
Well, I mean, that one too. But
the guy that transferred to Auburn and got on the field. Yeah, I know who you're talking
about. I mean, when the quarterback shows up and just dials it in, when he has that once in a lifetime game,
he's gonna play his mind.
Yeah, I mean that's the one I worry about. Which this could be one of those games because, again, Will Rogers to me is one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't control it. You got to worry about it a little bit, but you can't control it. But from what I've seen, man, their defense a little soft up front and don't really guard people in the back end especially when the offensive line provides enough time. But I can't.
A lot of holes there.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Right.
A lot of holes there. It's got to be Mississippi State's perfect game.
Yeah.
Right. And you get that sometimes when you're playing like Alabama. We saw that a lot where you go get a Kent State and they coming in here and they Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Alabama playing how they been, they haven't really found their identity yet. You expect a Mississippi State team to, they smell blood in the water. They coming in, they feel like they have a shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a challenge for us. We're gonna go in there and like put out whatever they got going on early. I haven't watched them this year, honestly. Like I usually watch other teams, but I've been so focused on Alabama this year, I ain't had a chance to really peep at too many other people.
Yeah.
So
well, let me ask you this. You played on a defense that dominated on the road. How do these guys dominate on the road?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like this team haven't found their identity yet. Like this Saturday, we're gonna see.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but I mean, last year too, like they struggled all 5 road games. It started in 2021.
I ain't like it. I ain't like it.
Well, I'll answer that. I mean, again, when I was playing there both years, I mean, we could rely on our defense to make plays. I mean, again, usually all we had to do was score 21 points, if that, to win games. I mean, you knew that it was going to take some kind of heroic effort to score a touchdown against the defense that we had, just because we had a bunch of freaking, I mean, psychopaths on defense. I mean, it was just relentless. And again, I made that joke when we played Michigan State in the Cotton Bowl, and you look up at the ceiling and you see Connor Cook. He goes, "Man, they're fucking everywhere." You're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And I mean, we had a bunch of different kind of guys on that defense, and I don't know if that culture is different or what, but I know the guys we had on defense in 2015. This guy right here, I mean, it was a different kind of football. I mean, it was a freaking cutthroat. We're coming here to win, and that's all. That's the only thing that matters.
It wasn't even about winning. I feel like we won some games, but if we didn't play that brand, we were still mad. Like, it's like,
I mean, again, I don't know if I told that story, but we won. There was a game we played in 2014. We won by like 40 points, and I remember Ashawn and Jonathan Allen getting into a fight about who played better.
On the plane.
On the plane.
Yeah.
Yes. And Coach Moorhead had to get in the middle of it. I mean, those two were about to fight each other about who played better, who's best. I mean, it was like, we just won by 40 points.
Yeah, right.
I mean, but it wasn't about how much we won by.
Right.
You know, what we did. It was
a
all
lot
about
of pride.
It was all. Oh yeah, it was all about performance and how you played, how you dominated every play. Exactly. And so I don't know if you again, that team was just different in 2014, 2015. It was a different animal.
Yeah. And well, they're trying to
I don't know if that'll ever be the same.
I think like with this team finding out their identity with the offense, this defense have a chance to like reestablish that. You know, with the last few years of teams that's been like kind of offense, like heavy leading team, like airing it out. This defense got an opportunity to kind of like
re-solidify the dominance on defense.
Exactly. Exactly. Giving up 10 to Ole Miss a good start. So,
well, who would have thought that too? I mean, who would have thought that they'd only give up 10 to Ole Miss?
Not me.
Yeah,
not me. So I
thought it was going to be either going to be a shootout or we might lose by
a nail bite.
7 to 10 points.
Yeah.
If we would have lost to them, can you imagine the amount of shit Lane Kiffin would have talked?
It had been a lot different than what he said after the game this week.
I know. I'm sure you guys texted him and said, hey, it's all good.
Yeah.
Just don't worry. You did a great job with your dog comment and the Taylor Swift video that you tweeted. And
he was
trying to talk smack about Kevin Steele. That was a great idea. That worked. I'm gonna pour some beers. We got to come up with a good conversation piece for you guys while I'm reloading us.
I can go outside.
Yeah. Just you go outside.
I'll sit here and man the mic.
You man the mic. This is the elephant in the room, guys. This is what we do. Brought to you by Lance's Lock. Don't fall into the same trap that I've fallen into. Lance's Lock will get you. Really, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be serious. Lance Taylor is one of the best handicappers that I know. He really is fantastic. NFL, college. You learn so much from listening to the Next Round show, but Lance's Locks got you covered, where he gives you the picks on the NFL, winning record there, college football the same way. I knew when I saw how giddy he was about that Colorado
the
line,
Colorado. Yeah,
I knew I was like, and when Jim Dunaway goes, I've only seen him like this twice before. And I was like, I'm going to lose my ass again. And he was right.
Oh, yeah.
So lanceslock.com, guys, check it out. You knew too?
Yeah, I did. I took Oregon.
Did you?
Took Oregon pretty hard. Yeah.
What are the things about this week's game? There's Ryan again. What are the things about this week's game that you worry about, and what are you excited about with Alabama? And while you're telling that story, I'm gonna divvy out some beer here.
I got you. Well, no, I mean, again, kind of like what we talked about earlier. Usually, when Alabama gets upset, it's because of the quarterback play from the opposing team. I mean, every game that I remember Alabama losing or us losing, the quarterback for the opposing team has had one hell of a game. When we were playing Ole Miss, I mean,
was that Kelly?
That was Bo. 2013, 2014. It was Bo. What's his last name?
What's that dude name? Number 14.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then Chad Kelly, 2015.
Yeah.
2015 was just, balls off helmets, past the line of scrimmage throws, almost. Well, whatever. I mean,
that's some of that Mississippi voodoo. Jesus Christ.
So no, that's what I worry about, is a team putting it together for one Saturday, throughout the year, and usually that happens against Alabama. But again, most teams put it all together against Alabama because that's their Super Bowl,
right?
And usually Alabama still beats them, but it's those one-off occasions where we have our mistakes and they have their best plays, and we don't capitalize, and they end up beating us. But I mean, it's few and far between. This year's a little different. We're not quite mature enough to handle all that adversity just yet. When Jalen really puts it together, which I think he will, and that's about eight weeks into the season, I think we're really going to be able to handle all that. But as for right now, I just worry about that game where we're down 14 points and got to figure it out. Yeah,
I got to have to come from behind.
Yeah, we don't need to get there.
I'm going to tell you guys the one thing that concerns me, and then we're going to talk about a lot of the things I like about this team. Seth McLaughlin's got to snap the ball. I mean, he's got to snap it. I'm sick of seeing the snaps. And if not, let's let Brockermeyer come in and snap the ball. I mean, and you might lose a little bit with the experience, and maybe he's not as good of a blocker, but I feel bad for Jalen Milroe to have to deal with somebody that just can't snap the ball to him. How does that even happen?
I don't know, man. When I was playing, we were playing. Ryan Kelly was our center, and
great center.
And if there was ever a bad snap, it's because my dumb ass dropped it. I mean,
yeah, right. Yeah,
I mean, and he wasn't giving it up any pressures or anything like that. And look, Seth McLaughlin, I know he's kind of new to the offensive line, and it's kind of unfair to compare him to Ryan Kelly, but. I mean, the quarterback center exchange is the most important since you've been, 7 years old, 6 years old, starting to play. That's the most important part of the game is securing the ball between the center and the quarterback. So, I mean, to me, snapping a ball that's soft, even if it's over your head, or even snap it low before you snap it high. Man, a high snap is just a death knell to a whole drive.
Yeah.
You got to snap it soft where he can recover and catch it. But again, I hate we're even having this conversation because
it's a game. We're going into game 5, and
we got to deal with.
Still can't figure it out.
He got to get it together, plain and simple.
But when you're on the 1 yard line, I don't give a shit if you quarterback sneak it every time.
Yeah.
You can lead. I mean, hey, if you don't score from the 1 yard line, that's on the players.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be able to score from 1 yard out on first down. So.
I was glad that Nick Saban was like, I don't know why we're doing that either. Because I'm watching him snap a shotgun snap, and I'm going, man, Milroe could run it in himself. He's as good as any running back that there. I'll tell you guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm a Ravens fan. Okay. And Ravens have a quarterback that can run the ball.
Mhm.
And Alabama has a quarterback that can run the ball. Let the guy run the ball. Like,
Cater to him.
just give him the ball. 4 times he's going to score.
The only time, and I love
For real.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
I love a
but
shot.
Saban agreed.
I love a shotgun snap in a goal line situation. If the guy catching the ball is going to run it, because it gives you time to see where the hole's at, how everything's developing.
Right.
I mean, if you hand it off from under center, that guy, you're kind of stuck to whatever path you hand it off on. You catch it from the shotgun, you can kind of see where everything's going and pick your hole.
And that's the advantage.
I love a direct snap to a running back or a quarterback if he's running the ball. Other than that, go under center and just run the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're on the 1 yard line. Score the freaking ball.
Yeah, just score the ball. Yeah. But I felt like at that point, that was like the final mistake. And they were like, hey, we're done with these mistakes. Because I thought there was after that, they kicked the field goal. We got a great field goal kicker.
Yeah.
At that point, I felt like things started to change.
And to Tommy Reese's defense, your center should be able to snap the damn ball.
Yeah.
I get it. You shouldn't be snapping. You should be under center, but shit. You've got a D1 scholarship. Snap the damn ball.
Yeah, snap the ball. Right. Well, if he doesn't snap it, somebody else is going to snap it. and I said this on a show in Tuscaloosa today. We put so much emphasis on quarterback. They need to emphasize every position. And if the center's not getting the job done, then how about putting that same emphasis on that position?
Right.
Because think about it. If it was Milroe that was dropping all those balls, everybody would want to run him out of town. And I'm not saying run, McLaughlin out of town. I'm saying you just got to concentrate and get the snaps in there. Not yet, yeah.
Nobody too much more.
A few more and maybe.
Yeah.
I thought, like, coming in though, that would be a strength. But let's talk some defense, Ryan. I look at this team and Malachi Moore. Wow, he's a good player.
He's impressive. He one of those guys that I feel like he would have fit in good with the defense that came before him. He one of those guys. Downs. He one of those guys. All around, I like this defense. They got like a good group. From the secondary is probably my favorite unit on the defense right now.
Kool-Aid, come on,
can play.
Kool-Aid's going to be an NFL star, right? We know him now, but he'll be on. Somebody will draft him, and they'll be talking about Kool-Aid for a long time. He just seems to me like Dre Kirkpatrick type guy. Like he's going to be in the NFL for a long time. Marlon Humphrey type guy where he's just locking down guys in the NFL forever.
Yeah, he can play.
Well, you tell me. Again, this has been my argument from day one is especially when I was there. We didn't have to bring pressures to get pressure on the quarterback when I was there.
Right.
I felt like it was y'all up front, pushing the pocket, getting pressure on the edge. There was no need to bring extra guys because there was going to be pressure on the quarterback without that. To me now, I feel like we're not getting a whole lot of pressure.
Yeah, why is that? I know what you're saying.
From the front.
Right.
You guys could get 4 man and they could put 5 up there, 6, and you're still getting back.
When we would do 2 minute, and just in practice, the interior pressure you'd feel as a quarterback, you're like, shit, I can't get. Felt like Connor Cook back there. You just couldn't get comfortable and make throws.
Yeah.
And then on the edge, you got guys pushing you, from both edges as well. Again, it's kind of unfair because of the front that we had.
No, it's not unfair, man. It's what you're trying to do. It's the standard. Like I get that.
It's the standard.
You watch it every week. What are you thinking?
I feel like how Jake feel, but also I feel like it come down to the players. The scheme is still the same. Like we took control of a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
When it came to like the 4-man, like that's what it's saying. Like Coach Pruitt come on Kirby and say, look, we can't. Y'all got to do it. You know what I mean? Like the pillars on y'all. So I feel like in those situations, like we just turned it up. Like the focus went up. Like the communication went up. Hey, you got this game. You got this game. Even from the edge standpoint, the most communication I ever had, even with the pros. Like, I look over on the edge and Denzel or Tim or Rashawn, they say, hey, I'm speed rushing, I'm bulling. Go high. Like, it just was a communication thing, you know what I mean? So, like, everybody was just, like, in tune. So, we hung out, too. You know, I don't know if them guys, like, hang out a lot, but, like, that defense I played on, we was, like, every day, like, we was together.
That's when you have a really great unit. That's how it is. Well, everybody really likes each other.
I mean, 7 guys in coverage. You got 4 guys rushing. It's like, holy shit, I can't get away from them. You know, I mean, and there's still 7 guys covering the pass. I mean, it's so uncomfortable as a quarterback to know you only got 4 guys coming after you, and they're on your ass the whole time.
Yeah.
And then you've still got to worry about throwing it away from 7 guys.
Right.
And that's how it felt back in our day.
And I think once those guys, like, get a taste of that and start understanding it, they're going to get a lot better at it. You know, because they got the ponies in the stable to get it done over there. You know, Braswell, Turner, them interior guys, I like them.
Yeah, I did too.
They can get it done. It's just like, I really feel like they just haven't meshed yet.
Yeah.
You know, like what Jake say, like with the QB, you know, around week 8 or whatever, like, I feel like another week or 2 and those guys going to really start putting it together.
And just be mean as shit, throwing people around. I mean, just toss them. Yeah. I mean, just with reckless abandon, you know, not giving a shit about anything.
That's how it's got to be.
That quarterback.
I'm telling you, man, we practicing, like, we came in the spring, me, Dylan, TJ. So we doing like a little spring practice. And I wasn't really even like that, you know what I mean? Like, just being nice. But, you know, I just got to Bama. You know, we have our first padded practice. Me and a tight end, we get into it. I slang him on the ground.
Where'd you go to high school again?
Daphne.
That's what I thought. Yeah. This is like the LA podcast too, by the way. I gotta tell you, like, everybody's like, where are these guys coming from? We're down on the coast right now. We're on the Eastern Shore. You're on the other side.
Let me tell you,
Eastern Shore over here.
Yeah, just like, you know, if we won a game and some shit was starting to stir after a game, we were celebrating, I'd just go hide behind Ryan Anderson, like, hey man, I'm with him. Because I know this guy was going to tear him apart.
It was what I was saying though. Like, when I got there, I go to help this tight end up after a play, and I get back to the sideline. Dylan say, he just dog cussed me. What you on? Like, I want to fight him now. I'm like, what? You just fucking helped him up, man. Don't talk to me. I can't believe you. I'm like, what? He didn't talk to me. I ain't gonna help nobody else.
You weren't allowed to help the other.
Yeah, I get it though. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah.
I started having I was in a good mood today. It's like, no, man, no.
That's
somehow there's a balance between, you know, respecting and loving everybody and then just hating the shit out of everybody.
For real.
Yeah.
It's like, you got it.
Oh man, that's the Alabama way, right? Go in there and take care of business. Hey guys, make sure that you are subscribed to Roll Tide Pods. This is Elephant in the Room, talking Alabama as the Tide gets ready to take on Mississippi State. 8:00 Central, 9:00 Eastern. That seems like a late game, but we'll be talking about that one with Jake on Monday. And Ryan, hopefully you'll come and hang out with us some more. I mean, this is what we want to do. Just like get in here and kind of rip things up and talk about Alabama football. But guys, in the comment section, make sure that you, any kind of questions you have, shoot us as well, and like and give us a thumbs up as we talk about this game. All right, let's finish up our thoughts on Alabama and Mississippi State so I can ask you about some of the other games that I'm going to lose this weekend betting. Okay. So I kind of see it like you do. I think that when Zach Arnett took over, he made a mistake getting away from the air raid that they had the personnel for, right? I mean, Mississippi State had the air raid. They're moving guys. They got all these like seniors, including Will Rogers. They've struggled to move the football. Defensively, this doesn't look like a Mississippi State team that we've seen in the past, that physical Mississippi State where, you know, they're able to kind of stop you at the line of scrimmage. I've always felt like because they're in our media market, that there's a little bit of extra hate that they have for Alabama, because it's like, man, they got to see you guys on TV all the time. They got to hear me talking about them all the time. And there's always been this little chip. Now, I don't think Nick Saban's lost to them, you know, but before, because I go back before that, Alabama lost to these guys. You know, they're a pretty good football team. And then going in there at night, obviously with a team that's trying to establish themselves, what they're all about, follow up with the second half last week. I think it all starts with the run game. I think if Alabama with Roydell and Chase McClellan runs the ball, when Justice kind of figures out all the blocking, I think he's going to be probably the best of all of those guys. But offensively, that's just my opinion. I'm going to ask you and then you next. What do you think it is for Alabama? And then what's it going to take to win the game?
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, football in general, if you can't run the ball, then you're not going to be successful.
Right.
I mean, you may win, you're going to be teams that you are better than, but teams that you're about equal with, you cannot establish a run game, you're not going to win consistently. And to me, Mississippi State has not done that.
Right.
And their pass game to me is based on precision and landmarks, and they have not really figured out the timing or landmarks or really the rules of their offense yet. They're getting there, and they showed some of that in the second half of the South Carolina game. I still think they got a long way to go, but again, what makes me worry about them is that when Will Rogers starts to feel it, and they put together a few big explosive plays, especially with play action. And if we don't score, you just never know what may happen with Will Rogers at quarterback. Defensively, again, if we don't put pressure on him, the guy's going to make plays. I mean, it is what it is, and it's just it's one of those trap games where if they show up, we're going to have a lot of problems. If they play Mississippi State football, we ought to win by 10, 14 points.
Right. You think they'll cover 14 and a half?
First half.
First half.
I'm with you on that one.
I'm staying away from that one.
Okay. I hope I'm wrong again. What do you think, Ryan?
As far as what them covering,
what
we need to do to win?
What we need to do to win this game.
I'm gonna kind of piggyback out Jake. I feel like we got to control the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? We gotta run the ball well, and we gotta stop the run. We gotta protect our guy and get after theirs. And I feel like the defense, it's on them coming into this game.
Yeah.
Like this defense gotta have that attitude. They gotta walk in there with that on their mind. Like we gotta win this game. We can't give up no more than 13 points.
Right.
And that's just what it is. If they beat us 13-0, well,
right.
We ain't going ahead and giving up that many points. We gotta control the line of scrimmage, and we gotta create turnovers. So I feel like that's what's going to eliminate a lot of that stuff. Put the fire early. They're gonna come out there hyped up. So I feel like that's gonna be like set the tone early and finish.
Yeah.
Damn cowbells, man.
I can't. I won't go to a game now. I won't go see a game now.
What's crazy about that place is the cowbells aren't even loud. It's just an annoying noise kind of in the background.
Yeah.
You can hear everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother you whatsoever. It's just like, can you please cut that shit out?
I don't know where they got that from. I just think being over there where they want no stores, no nothing.
I had plenty of cowbells just laying around.
Doesn't it feel like when you're there? I've said this about that place. I feel like every time I'm there, I got into a time machine and went back in time. It's like, it really does. Like you pull in there, you're like, man, I just lost about 45 years.
I was and we played at Arkansas, and Arkansas, at least they can talk a lot of shit and kind of make you feel bad. But when you go to Mississippi State, all they do is ring those cowbells. You can't hear any of the shit talking. Yeah. And you're just like, what are we here for?
Yeah, right. Well, Nick's
let's go play on the practice field.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. Nick's handled them. I mean, I was there. Gene Stallings lost to him one year. Bama was ranked, and got Mike Shula fired, losing to him at home. And, do you remember these games? Were you an Alabama fan growing up? You too? Yeah, I was there. Like, I'm like,
well,
I'm walking out as a fan.
It meant a lot to me, Jake. I'm telling you.
No, I remember.
I remember. My wife's like, you should stop saying that. I'm walking out. You just got fired. You just got fired. Like, it was terrible. But you know what? Like, I just think that to me, when Mike Dubose was there, they were tough, but Nick's kind of handled them. Normally they play like defense first and then offense. Now that then they got Mike Leach, who I thought was really a fun head coach. I liked him.
Good
guy. Good guy too. Let's be honest though. When you're an SEC coach, especially at Alabama, and if we do lose Mississippi State, which I hope is not the case.
No, I do
Jesus,
too.
I hope that's not the case. But when you lose to Mississippi State as the Alabama head coach,
you're getting fired.
Start thinking,
yeah.
It's got to be talked about now. Just like you said about the center and the corner, it's got to be talked about.
Got to bring this up. That's the real elephant in the room.
Yeah.
That's the measuring stick.
Right.
Do we like this guy? Does he move?
We ready for this guy to get out of here?
If you lose to Mississippi State,
Coach Saban won 30 national championships. You lose to them, I'm sitting down with it.
Oh man! All right, let's talk some other games before we get out of here. We the crazy thing about this show, and guys, if you're not a subscriber, please do that. This is Elephant in the Room on Roll Tide Pods, part of Disrupt the Media, brought to you by MyBookie and Lance's Lock, and we really appreciate all you guys for hanging out with us here and talking Alabama football. All right, let's get into this. I took Deion last week. I think I might have picked with my heart a little bit. Now they're back at home, Colorado. I love the fact that Coach Prime said, you better get me now, because I believe that. Now USC is coming to town. USC is a pretty good football team. Your thoughts on that game, and then you tell me what you think.
I would, as far as betting goes, I'd stay away from it. Because,
it's like a 2 touchdown plus
for a team. I took Oregon last week. Okay, that one made sense.
I should have too, but I didn't see Lance say that until Friday.
Yeah,
I made my picks on Thursday.
Should have called me.
I should have. I didn't know you then.
Yeah,
we were at one comedy show together at that point. Now I will call you.
As soon as that one came out, I was like, okay, Oregon, this one's going to be I'm hammering Oregon.
Yeah, right.
But now, to lose 2 games by 22 points, man, especially with Deion as the coach, I'm staying away from it. I think USC probably should, but I don't think they will, just based on Deion being the coach and who he's got, behind him. So words of wisdom, stay away from USC or
this
is not a game to bet on, but I'm going to ask Ryan because he knows.
I think USC going to get them now. I think they're going to beat them easily.
I think USC's going to beat them.
They're going to beat them.
22 points?
Yeah, 22 is the spread.
Cover. USC don't play good defense, as good as defense as Oregon.
Yeah.
But they're going
and it's in Colorado.
But they'll cover that spread.
Yeah. You think
I
so?
think they'll cover.
You think Colorado's going to cover?
No, I think USC will.
Ooh,
I don't know. I think Colorado might surprise
They
you.
might. But
I feel like USC's the right play, but I'm too nervous to put money on it.
Well, this is interesting because I want to see what Coach Prime does after a loss.
Right. That's why I wanted to see how these guys respond after getting lamb-basted like that.
Yeah, they got beat down.
So I didn't see them ahead. I didn't see them beating the odds, shocking me. Now I want to see how they come. I hope they do come back and recover, but I just don't.
It's a tough league.
Yeah, you got Caleb Williams, and the Prime don't really have the guys. Like he said, he don't have the front 7 really to go in here and put pressure on this guy like that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yep.
It can get ugly fast if they ain't careful.
Did y'all see that video that Oregon put out of
that pregame?
Oh my God!
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I wish I had seen that video before kickoff because I'd put a lot more money on Oregon.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
The click video, the clicks.
Oh,
they're playing for clicks.
No, not that one. Shallow talking about beating the shit out of all
to the players
and the coach.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You missed that one?
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying.
Pretty intense, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It would have just made me feel worse.
Yeah, Deion got to get a handle on that. I like everything they doing up there, man. I like people being free and being able to express themselves. But the stuff before the game and the taunting and all that, you got to get a handle on that.
Yeah.
Because you got to understand one thing at the end of the day, you got a lot of attention up there and a lot of spotlight. As a defensive player, honestly, when I'm coming into a game, I want to, That's what I'm coming to do. I want to hurt your best player. I want to hurt your quarterback.
Right.
I want to put him out of the game. Your best receiver. That's what we want to do. So when you got guys coming out before the game talking and this and it, it's amplified. Like you're gonna get guys taking shots on them there. So like that's one thing I really feel like they got to get a handle on.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Just all the pregame stuff. Like,
don't give anybody anything.
Yeah, don't give them no extra ammo.
Yeah, right.
Like once we get out here, that's cool. We're gonna dance. We're gonna do what we do. But I feel like you got to get a handle on that.
My biggest fear is, when I was playing, a guy that didn't say a word, you're like, oh, this MFer's crazy.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to. A guy that talks a lot of trash, you kind of block that out. But a guy that just doesn't say a word.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man.
He's locked in.
This guy's got some shit going on.
He ill, ain't it, Jay?
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, you blocked the shit out of this guy?
That's funny.
All
right, so we got Tennessee at home. South Carolina's coming in.
Ooh.
And it's 11.5 points. That's the spread. Tennessee's favorite. But remember last year, Tennessee had some issues in their locker room that if they wouldn't have had, I think they'd have got to the college football playoff. They had a really good team last year. But they, reports are that they had a fight in the locker room going into that game against South Carolina, and then they got beaten. And that kind of ended their playoff hunt, right? Are they going to be able to rebound and win at home against South Carolina? Or do you think South Carolina comes into Neyland Stadium and gets it done? I'll start with you, Ryan.
Tennessee, they can't rebound. South Carolina beat them. South Carolina beat them. They don't rebound. They Tennessee. I like South Carolina.
Tennessee's going to Tennessee.
Right.
I like Shane Beamer, too. I like him a lot.
He's sneaky good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He was at Virginia Tech for a while, ain't it? That's him?
No, his dad was at Virginia Tech for a while. I think Shane was there for a little while, too.
Okay. Yeah,
I like Shane Beamer a lot.
Oh, yeah. And I like Rattler.
Rattler is – shit, he was, 16 of 16?
Yeah, he had a great game.
Last weekend?
Yeah.
Who they had?
They played South Carolina. No, they played Mississippi State.
Yeah.
So I got to bring this game up. Don't be angry at me, but my son's a Fairhope Pirate. Riley Leonard is a Fairhope Pirate, and now he's at Duke. He's already ripped Clemson in half, and now he's taking on Notre Dame this week.
Notre Dame.
Duke's 4-0.
Take Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Take Notre Dame.
You think Riley's good luck ends this week?
I love Riley.
I hope Riley go for 1,000 yards, but I hope he got his rim protected on too. Notre Dame. Man. You know what I'm telling you? I'm gonna keep it real with you, Mick. I like the hometown kid, and I room for him. But he better bring his guts with him. He's playing in South End.
I think it's at Duke, but they're 4-0.
Well, that's even worse because that's like practice.
And then they just took.
There'll be more people show up for the basketball game than.
Everybody says that, but could this be one of those teams where you're like, no, you don't think so?
No,
there's no chance.
No.
Maybe there's a little bit more fire behind Duke's football program. I know when I played at Florida State and we showed up at Duke, there were more people in line to buy fucking basketball tickets than the football game. So, and we beat the shit out of them. So,
well, look, Duke's number 17, Notre Dame's number 11. All right, I was just throwing that out there because he's one of us, man. Yeah. Down here, he's one of us. We got to pull for him.
Again,
I'm pulling for him, Mick, but I'm just being real.
Hey,
being honest.
I've met Riley. Riley is a great guy, great player. Probably going to play in the NFL, but probably going to have a lot of problems Saturday.
Could be tough.
Issues. Yeah, we're going to have to watch him go through it too. So
look, again, I definitely would not have won a national championship playing for Duke. I able to win one with Alabama, and
All right, last game. I'm with you guys. I just had to throw that out there. The last one I want to ask you about is LSU's at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a home dog, 2.5 points. Lane Kiffin.
They only giving up 2.5?
Only 2.5. I'm going to tell you, as bad as I've been, I'm taking LSU all day.
Me too, man.
I think LSU is going to freight train them. They're going to get beat up at the line of scrimmage, just like they did against State. And then after the game, everybody, it's going to be one of those situations where Lane is going to be kind of not getting fired, but the seat's going to start warming up. People are going to be like, I didn't like that. They talked all that shit to Alabama, and then look what happened. Now he can't win this game. This is a really pivotal game for them. Ryan, you go first.
For Ole Miss?
Yeah.
I like LSU to beat them, and I like Lane to come back and be our offensive coordinator. So
come on back home.
Yeah, hopefully get on the hot seat. You know, I'm a little selfish, but I think Ole Miss Peter roll.
Yeah.
I mean LSU Peter roll Ole Miss.
Yeah, I agree. Jake?
I got Ole Miss winning this one.
Whoa.
And y'all just solidified that. Joe Central over here.
Hey, I've been terrible. So, I mean, look, that could happen.
Yeah, I don't know shit either, man.
Yeah, he doesn't know shit either. He doesn't know shit either. But we agree.
I just don't like Ole Miss quarterback out this antics last. So LSU by a lot.
No, I mean if I was just guessing who would win, it would take me about 7.5 points to take Ole Miss. If Ole Miss was plus 7.5, I'd take them. The fact that it's plus 3, I'm definitely taking Ole Miss just because I know Vegas knows something. I don't.
Yeah, right.
Right.
All right.
And so that's
good call.
That's why I'm taking Ole Miss.
All right. And then finally, I just lost you, Jake. Oh, what happened? Anyway, Ryan, I'm going to get you to go first. What happened over there? What do you think about the Bama game? Give me your thoughts on the Bama game.
Last week or this week?
This week.
I like Alabama to go in there and win by 14 points. 2 touchdowns. 24. Alabama 24, Ole Miss 10. Same as last week. We're going to do the same thing.
All right, Jake, I'm going to swing it over. Any final thoughts?
That's it.
All right.
I'm thinking 34-21, Alabama. We got a little bit of a rough time on defense to start with, and we finish off scoring a couple touchdowns and covering. Again, disclaimer, I'm not taking Alabama, but that's how I feel.
Yeah. I think, look, I think Alabama wins the football game. I think it builds some momentum to the Texas A&M game. I hope they don't look ahead. I don't think they will, though.
Shit, they ain't been bad.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think Alabama's rolling towards the postseason, and next week's going to be a real battle. This week is more just focus on the things that they need to take care of and take care of business, and I think good things will happen.
But here's the thing, too, which I I don't care what anybody says. I mean, when you play, and again, I kind of want to hear your opinion on this too. When you play Mississippi State or one of these teams where it's, again, when you're at Alabama, you want to play these big games. You love playing these big games. You love the Auburn game. You love playing the LSU game. The big matchups. When you play Ole Miss or Mississippi State, I mean, there's definitely a lull there. I mean, of course, y'all didn't show that my senior year. That's for damn sure. But I definitely feel like there's a lack of energy there when you play the teams that are not up to that standard of Alabama football and don't kind of, I guess, play up to that hype that you want to play to when you're getting recruited. And I don't know. Maybe you have. I want to hear what you have to add to that because I seriously don't feel like everybody gets as excited about Mississippi State as they do.
Right.
Auburn, LSU. The big teams you play.
Definitely, I feel the same way. That's why, like you said earlier, I feel like it's a trap game.
Yeah,
it's one of them games.
I hated playing Coastal Carolina or whoever Eastern Louisiana. I know there's good players on that team, and there's no disrespect towards those teams. I know there's a lot of good guys that come out of there, but it just doesn't match that intensity level as playing the big games in and out every weekend, you know?
Right. Easy to overlook, like you say, and they're harder to get up for, but that's what Coach Saban always been like so good at, like keeping guys balanced. You know what I mean?
Oh, you knew if you were playing Mississippi State or La Tech or who, by the time the fifth period rolled around, you were starting that.
You started right over.
Yeah. You talked about that.
You were starting it over.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. I mean, you could do everything flawlessly. That shit was coming back.
He had his mind made up.
Yeah, but
he was pissed off.
But the reason why is that you guys weren't at Legion Field when we lost to La Tech.
Right.
You know, I mean, he lost to Monroe, and it was like, you know, he was like compared it to 9/11, and people got mad at him, and I knew what he meant though.
Yeah.
He was just saying for us, you know, our standard, you know, it wasn't disrespectful, but people were upset about that in 07. The reason that Alabama hasn't had those losses is because of that. Yeah. That's how he got you guys to pay attention, because we're naturally looking ahead to Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M. But you got this game this week. Now, sometimes, you know, when you're playing a team that's like an 80-point underdog, or they don't even have a spread, it doesn't matter. You know, you're still practicing against Auburn when you're playing Chattanooga. But but I got to tell you, man, the guy's he's the GOAT for a reason.
No doubt.
He's wired different than we are.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about it. You know, he is just wired different.
Oh, I don't think if he made $60,000 a year, I don't think he'd operate any different. If
he doesn't care about the money.
$10 million a year.
It's just like that's who he is. Like
he can't help it.
Yeah.
And that's why he's the best of all time.
Best of all time. Well, guys, show's brought to you by MyBookie. Again, we have just blown through an hour and change, and we appreciate all of you guys for being here. We'll get back together again on Monday, talk about Mississippi State, relive the action late night on Saturday. Ryan, thanks for coming, man.
And thank y'all for having me, man. I enjoyed it.
Man, you better be coming back, though.
Yeah, man. As long as you got some more of that beer.
We got plenty of beer. We got plenty of beer in the studio.
That's what I'm talking about.
And make sure that you like and subscribe. Be part of Roll Tide Pods. You know, Lance and Ryan and Jim and those guys putting this together. We're just really happy to be part of it. We're like their South Alabama cousins, you know, that get on here.
Hey, I'm from South Alabama.
Yeah, we are.
Chill out.
Hey, go to the side.
We're
part of the Disrupt Media, but we're like the South. We're like the very South wing.
Okay.
The LA wing. We're the LA wing.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. And no, guys,
like Cousin Eddie over here.
No, man. We don't have. Well, I like Cousin Eddie. I got an RV. Like and subscribe. Roll Tide Pods. This is Elephant in the Room, and for Ryan Anderson and Jay Coker, I'm Mick Gillispie. Roll Tide, guys. We'll talk to you on Monday.